The human mind is complicated. Many times we have thoughts and ideas constantly competing for that top spot of, I need to get this done, or I just can't forget this. Take those thoughts and add in all of the other input from social media, text messages, emails, and it's not hard to see why we get so stressed and overwhelmed by the amount of input in our lives. So what do we do about it? What's the solution? Well, we could just say deal with it and live in a constant state of stress with our minds being overwhelmed. Or we could try to use our phones and put everything in an app or a notes app, task app, whatever. But the problem with phones lies with the next swipe. Because whenever we use our phones, after we do the task that we're setting out to do, we swipe up, all of the notifications are fighting for our attention, and we find ourselves distracted for 30 minutes. We need to eliminate the distractions. What we're trying to do is isolate those ideas and those thoughts and put them somewhere safe. And so enter the pocket notebook. So where I would recommend starting with pocket notebooks is using a catch-all system. And what that is basically taking your notebook and you're just taking whatever's in your mind for the day and putting it in this notebook. Anything that you want to remember, that you think is valuable, and that you want to reference to in the future. When I started out with my catch-all notebook, I had everything from my schedule for like certain days, like it kind of functioned as a loose planner, to quotes that I've heard people say, to teachings I was sitting through, to-do lists, YouTube ideas, money-making ideas, things to sell, everything, Christmas lists, all this stuff was put inside of this pocket notebook. And you can end the process right there if you want. You can just offload all of your thoughts into these notebooks, date them on the side, and just keep buying notebooks and keep filling them up. But you could take it a step further and say, okay, I have my thoughts in this pocket notebook, and I'm going to organize them into other notebooks. And so what I did was I took this notebook, which had different ideas for YouTube videos, for a planner, for proverbs and thoughts that I liked, and I offloaded those into separate notebooks. And so I have one just for YouTube ideas. I have my pocket proverbs. I use a field notes as my daily planner. And so I know the culture today might challenge this and say that's not efficient at all. You could just put it in your notes app or put a tag on it and then it's organized automatically for you on your phone. It might not be efficient time-wise, but I think it's better for us. There's science that's proved that writing things down physically is better for your brain. It helps you memorize things better. It's better for your neural connections. And you could physically write it down on an iPad, but the tactile feeling of writing on a piece of paper, an iPad or any type of tablet is not going to be able to replicate that. And I honestly would challenge the efficiency claims, because if we were to use our phones, how many times would we go and enter in our notes, journal, put our task in, whatever, and then we get distracted and go do something else on our phones for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. It's not hard. It happens. It happens to me. It's happened to everybody that has a smartphone. And I would think if you would add up all that wasted time just scrolling and watching videos or looking at posts, I do think that would outweigh the time spent sitting and organizing your notes by hand. Now, some people are really disciplined and they don't get distracted by things, and good for them. But for most people, I think the phone thing is just a major distraction that we just need to try to eliminate. I feel so much more relieved whenever I write things down in my various notebooks, knowing that it's there, it's safe, and that I can come back to it whenever I need to. And so by doing all of this and putting all of our thoughts into a notebook, I think we are actually saving our minds in multiple ways. We are saving our thoughts and saving our ideas and putting them in here for us to come back to at a later time, to reflect on, to think about, to improve on. But we're also saving our minds in the sense that we are relieving ourselves from the stress of having to think about everything all at one time, to remember things, to try to manage things, whenever I can just write things down in a notebook. I know you're all probably wondering where all these notebooks keep coming from. I have a lot. This cannot distract me beyond what it's going to be used for. There's no emails in here. There's no text messages. There's no Instagram. There's no YouTube. It's just a notebook. So hopefully I convinced somebody out there to start using pocket notebooks, because I think they are a really great way to save your mind, to save your thoughts, your ideas, and just to help you have more peace of mind. And you can actually organize your thoughts. And it's just nice looking back and saying, here's my thoughts from 2023 to 2025. Let's go back and see what I was thinking about. Maybe I was wrong about things, or maybe I was more right than I thought I was going to be. And so if you're curious about any of the notebooks that I use, I'll link them down in the description below. This is just an Exceed notebook from Walmart, a homemade notebook. This is another notebook from Walmart. And then I use Field Notes. And then this is kind of an alternative brand that I found on Amazon. I'll link them all over the place. You can check them out. But the type of notebook isn't necessarily the important thing, like the brand. Just go out and find something that you can use. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to hear more from me, you can check out our email list. The link for that is down in the description below where you can sign up. Also subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you in the next one.